So your career is going on, unbelievable in the championships, and then this November 7th is the 20th anniversary of the announcement.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. Can you talk about your memories of the announcement and remember what?
Yeah, we were playing Utah on the road, and Dr. Melman, the Laker doctor, called me and said, "You got to come home." And I was like, "Okay, can I play the game first?" He was like, "No, you got to come home right now." And I said, "Well, what is it?" "I can't tell you over the phone, so you got to come home." So I fly back to LA, first flight, and I walk into his office, and that's when he began to tell me I had HIV. And Bill, you say, "Hey, I made all the right moves. I've tried to do everything right. And then that's the one thing I did wrong," right? And so I was devastated. You begin to say, how can this happen? And I had to pick myself off the ground, because I didn't know what that meant for me, because you had some information about AIDS, but you didn't have enough information to know what HIV was versus AIDS. So I sat there with my head down for probably about 2 hours trying to figure out how did this happen and why did it happen.
Did you cry?
Not at that moment, no. I didn't cry then. But the main thing I was concerned about was my wife, Cookie, because she was pregnant with our son, EJ, at that time. So I asked Dr. Melman, what did that mean for her and the baby? And he told me he couldn't answer that until he ran the test. So, it was a difficult moment for me, because I faced the toughest of the toughest, the best of the best. Michael and Larry, I thought was going to be the hardest thing I had to do. But driving home to tell my wife I had HIV was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. And so I drove home to try to figure out, how am I going to tell my wife I have HIV? And as soon as I hit the door, she knew something was wrong. And so I sat her down, began to tell her what Dr. Melman had told me I had HIV. And then the one thing I told her, I said, I could understand if you wanted to leave, and she started crying. And then about 10 minutes into it, she said, "No, I'm here to stay. Let's pray on it, and I'm going to support you." And the whole time I said it one more time, "I can understand if you wanted to leave." And that second time I said, "I can understand if you wanted to leave," she hit me so hard. And she said, "I married you because I love you. I'm going to be here to support you." So it was a wonderful moment, because I think at that time I knew I had a chance to now beat HIV, because I needed the support system. I needed her in my life and supporting me and being with me through this tough moment. And Cookie is an unbelievable woman. So she has been supporting me all these years, been with me all these years. And so I got blessed about a week later when we found out she was okay and my son EJ was okay, that they didn't have HIV. So that was a blessing. And then the next time I had to ask him, what do I have to do to beat it? So he said, "Hey, you have to take your meds, you have to have a positive attitude, and you have to work out." I said, "Now those 3 things, that's what you're telling me, right?" I said, "Then I'm good then. I'm going to be here for a long time." So here I am, coming November 7th, 20 years.